Deep conversations with the right people are priceless, and ideas are formed in the crucible of authentic, connected, and sometimes controversial conversations. No ideas are off the table because why would they be? Join us on Inquisitive Souls as we lead with curiosity, empathy, and a massive heaping of juvenile humor. Join us on this learning journey. All right, before we saddle up, I want to tell you about the Dad Edge Alliance, which is my absolute favorite community on the whole entire internet. It's a group of, at the time of my recording, it's about 250 guys. It's growing all the time, but it is a community unlike anything I've ever seen. And I don't know if you could hear that thunder that just happened, but that is a sign that what I'm saying is truly, truly important. That's right. Thunder. Thunder happened when I'm talking about the Dad Edge Alliance. So listen, if you're a guy and you are feeling like your friendships or your relationships are superficial, you get around, you shoot the shit, but you're never going deeper. You don't feel safe to do that. And you know that there's something more. I'm telling you, join this community. It is insanely life-changing. Okay. Like we got guys in there from all walks of life. But they all have one thing in common. They're trying to elevate fatherhood by improving themselves. They're leaning in. They're supporting each other. They're learning from one another. They're learning about themselves. They're challenging themselves. They're setting goals. They're holding each other accountable. But they are all doing it in a place that's totally safe and totally just overflowing with bro love. And I'm trying to say that in a manly way. Bro love, right? So, one of the things that I've learned throughout my own personal development journey, which is a journey that will last the rest of my life, obviously, is that the people you surround yourself with that's one of the most important choices you can make. Many of you have probably heard the quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And when I first heard that, logically, I got it. Okay, that makes sense. But I never could have imagined what it actually meant. How transformative it is to get a better, higher caliber, more open, loving, caring, relentless group of men in your life. So that's what this fucking community provides. I mean, I don't know how to state it in a way that really truly conveys how I feel about it. Maybe I'll just say fuck a lot more. But I mean, the stuff that goes on here is crazy. They've got community calls. They've got accountability teams. They've got amazing content, free books. We're building courses. We have experts come in, New York Times bestselling authors, Navy SEALs to speak to the guys. And the guys are learning and they're growing and they're building relationships with one another and they're bringing a better version of themselves into every aspect of their life. So please think about it. Look around you. Do you have the group of people around you that are going to help you create the fucking life you want? Most people don't. Most people don't even know there's an alternative. And most people don't even understand how important it is. So I'm telling you from my own personal experience and witnessing hundreds of people have the same experience, it changes everything. Okay, so listen, if you want to know more, you can either always send me a message or you can go to gooddadproject.com/alliance and I'll put that link in the show notes page. Do it. And it will help you become emotionally fucking excellent. Now on to the show. Hello, everyone. I just got back from an amazing week in Cleveland. What was I doing in Cleveland, you ask? Well, let me tell you. No, I was finishing up my LEAF certification. So what LEAF is leading with experiential appreciative facilitation. And what that really means is it's bringing AI, appreciative inquiry, into the world and helping, learning how to facilitate not only large group summits, whole system summits, but, also bringing appreciative inquiry down even to the conversational level. I mean, that really wasn't what the certification was about, but it's what I've been doing. And I'll talk about more of that in a minute. But I guess the first thing I want to say is whenever I go to one of these things, this group of people is the most incredible, kind, compassionate, world-changing, motivated, optimistic, positive people I've ever been around. It is fucking insane. There's tears, there's laughter, there's music, there's hugs, there's incredible learning, there's networking. And when I say networking, I mean making new friends. Um, there's just so much joy, and it's just an absolute fire hose of information. Like I look at a training like this and I think about the traditional college or university system, and I'm like, oh my God, like that model is going to be disrupted so badly, so quickly, so soon. Because when you look at an experience like this, it literally crams just such a massive amount of information into such a short period of time. But it's not just the information. Like it's not just simply, a transfer of information. It is the entire experience. It is everything from changing the physiology in the room to having music, to making time for powerful conversations, to yoga, to eating great food, and like everything, incredible brain stimulating music, having time, space and time for silence. Like when you put all these things together, it is just mind boggling what happens as it relates to a learning experience, because you learn from so many different dimensions, rather than just sitting listening to a professor. So, and I'm not saying that there's not a place for that whatsoever. I'm saying that there are new models coming. And so I will be a part of this community, this Leaf community, for as long as I live. And, or at least that's how I feel now. I mean, shit, anything could change, but it has brought so much to me. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about appreciative inquiry on this podcast, because it is, the world is absolutely calling for it. And it's a way of making wholesale change incredibly rapidly by bringing people together and searching for the best of the past, present, and future. And instead of, taking our very traditional deficit problem solving model, it looks for strengths, it looks for energy, it looks for beauty, it looks for connection and the way that we do that in appreciative inquiry is by asking powerful questions. And maybe I'll get into generative questions and all that. I could do a whole fucking episode on that. And I probably will, but suffice it to say, the questions we ask ourselves are fateful. They direct our energy. So if you ask weak-minded questions, for example, like, why can't I? What went wrong? Those will guide your energy and your thoughts into the direction of thinking about deficits, where if you ask yourself powerful questions about how might we, it is amazing the creativity that stimulates and the energy that generates. And when you are in that space, it is so fun to be on a journey of exploration with a bunch of people who care about finding the answers as much as you do. And I think what's amazing about it is the absolute speed at which you are able to discover, design, like rapidly prototype, and then come up with a plan to deploy it. Like I've never seen anything work this quickly. And I'm going to be implementing appreciative inquiry. I mean, I already totally implement appreciative inquiry at work, and I do it in every conversation. Actually, I talk about this shit every day. And one of the things that I've talked about is, or one of the things I talked a lot about with people this weekend is how do you, because appreciative inquiry is so great on a large system sales summit, like bringing everybody together over a couple of days. And I'm very good at, incorporating it into the conversational level by asking how might we, or questions, or asking questions that search for the best in people. But I think there's a huge opportunity to use it at the team level to do rapid dreaming, designing, prototyping, and implementing over the course of a couple week time horizon. And so I'll talk more about that too, because I got some good ideas this weekend, and I'm going to implement it because I think it's going to be very cool. And at the very least, what will happen is it'll be an awesome experiment. It will be an experiment to see what helps bring my team to life, and what things feel good, and how capable we are of implementing, sort of small changes at a rapid scale using appreciative inquiry as the operating system. Because fundamentally, that's what I'm planning. That's what I'm already doing. But I want to deepen AI as the operating system of our team in order to continually searching for what's working and figuring out how to do more of that. And that might be something like, how do we bring our core values to life? But anyways, I need to implement, experiment, and then I'll come back and talk to you about that, because I think it's actually going to be a very, very profoundly changing thing for a team that's already highly motivated and highly just really happy. So we'll see how that goes. But back to the training, back to this week. When I leave, I guess one of the things I've talked about a lot, and it's certainly not my quote. I think it was, who was it that said, I'm just having a senior moment here, but whoever it was that said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, Jim Rohn, famous entrepreneur, coach. I mean, this is a week where never, like in my life right now, these weeks being around these people, those are the moments that message is fucking driven home so hard, like a goddamn knife through my heart. Not a knife through my heart, like a fuzzy rainbow of awesome circling my head. How's that? And it's just, I can't stress it enough. Like if you need to get better people around you, and it is so fucking easy to do. I used to think it was impossible, but that's another episode for another day. But yeah, I'm sitting there half the time. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I almost can't believe I'm around people of this caliber, but I am so profoundly, profoundly grateful that my path has led me to this moment, this experience right here and right now. Because the conversations that we have, instead of people talking in terms of deficit and what's wrong and how so-and-so fucked me over, it's just constant talk about opportunities and successes and how we might work together. And I would love to help you develop your ideas. And then, with no expectation of return, like anything in return other than a beautiful exchange of energy. Like, for God's sakes, you need people like this in your life. It just changes everything. It absolutely changes everything. I came home last night and it's almost hard to put, as you can see, it's almost hard to put it into words and to put the energy, to put the experience into words, because it was about so much more than words. It was about more than images. Even the whole room is full of beautiful images of nature and inspirational photos. And we spend so much time drawing and like moving past dialogue into design, drawing things to make our ideas come to life. But it's about even more than that. It's just about, there's this concept called the morphic field that people keep talking about. And I'm going to look that up because I can't actually remember. It sounds all woo-woo. But here's what the morphic field is. It's an energy-like field that defined the entire biology of all living things. The idea was put forth by a scientist named Sheldrake in the 20th century, and it provided a force that guided the development of an organism it grew, making it take on a form similar to other species. Well, so basically the idea, though, is that when you're in this room with these people, even when you're working in silence, you feel it. You feel the fucking energy in the room. I don't know how. I don't know what that means. Even if I had my eyes closed, I would know I was in a room with other people that were just generating positive energy. And so it was an absolutely amazing experience. I can't wait to continue to take this appreciative inquiry into the world and to make a massive, massive contribution to humankind in order to just to spread this knowledge. It's so beautifully simple in a way, and I want everybody to know about it because it changes everything. It could change the world if we looked at the world with an appreciative eye, and if we continually work together to look for the very, very best, and then imagined how we might do more of that, and then dreamed about the future that doing more of that would create. It's so fucking uplifting. This is my life's work. And I don't know, the cool thing too is there are infinite applications. You can apply this stuff anywhere. Again, at the conversational level, but across huge scale summits in any industry with any group of people, anywhere. Across cultures, it doesn't matter. It works everywhere. The guy that founded
Appreciative Inquiry. We actually got a chance to meet him. He came in and talked to the group. Fucking guy, man, has just got back from the UN. Meeting the number 2 guy at the UN. He's hung with the Dalai Lama and talked to him about appreciative inquiry. They've hosted gigantic summits at the UN where Kofi Annan was like, "There's no other system that creates large scale change this quickly." And he's the most humble, normal dude. He makes extraordinary ordinary, which is fucking awesome because it makes you believe, oh my God, I could totally do this too. I absolutely can do this. And so it was a profound week for me. And I just want to share it with you. I'm going to put a link in the podcast show notes about it. And if you ever want to talk about appreciative inquiry or the Flourishing Leadership Institute or LEAF training, let me know. And I'm going to get John Berghoff, the founder of Flourishing Leadership and one of the probably the premier AI facilitator in the world and one of the leading thinkers in this field. He was the one who does the training and just an amazing human being. I'm going to get him on the show, and because I really want you to hear his voice and hear his passion about what this means and where this is going.
Thanks for listening to the Emotionally Excellent Man Show. Now, go own your shit like the powerful, handsome boss man that you are.